Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. Check out the hockeybettingpodcast.ca. We got a number of books that have joined up with us and have incredible sign-up offers for you to play hockey with that first deposit. Get on board. Go to the hockeybettingpodcast.ca. Click the link, sign up, and have some fun with us.
You're listening to the Hockey Betting Podcast with your hosts, Brian Blessing in Las Vegas and Cam Stewart in Toronto. This is the Hockey Betting Preview for Saturday, April 3rd, 2021. And now live from Las Vegas, your host of the Hockey Betting Podcast, Brian Blessing.
All right, folks, weekend edition of the hockeybettingpodcast.ca. Brian Blessing, Cam Stewart. We're both beat to a pulp. I'll tell you one thing. I'm serious. Let me tell you something, buddy.
I know. Yeah, I'm with you, buddy. You know, we're here today, too, right? So, you know, it's birthday weekend, whatever, and I didn't realize. So, no, you know, yeah, thank you, Brian. I appreciate it because I know you actually care. Unlike, you know, it's funny. It was hilarious. So we taped shows last night. I do another show, and then I'm like, I wake up this morning. So I'm like, okay. So the first thing I instinctively do is drive to the beer store. Nothing. Tumbleweed. It's closed. I go, oh, okay. So I go to the liquor store. It's closed. I'm like, oh, okay. Pattern here. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Easter. And I live in Canada, and it's already under a lockdown. So I go to the Oriental Market. I bring up like 18 beers. You're not going to sell a grown man beer? I flipped out in the parking lot. I go, I can't believe I'm a grown man. I can't even get a damn beer at 12:30 in the afternoon. Like, people are looking at me like all the Asian guys. Oh, my God. Like, I absolutely snapped. I snapped, and then I found out. I text Lisa because she knows booze. I go, what's going on? There's some like a WineRack, it's called, like in like the next town over type of thing, right? So I go there, I get in, Brian, there was a lineup of about 100 grifters just sitting there with foam coming out their mouth because gotta love Canada, can't even get a beer in a convenience store. What a joke. Anyway, I loaded up. I got like 3 bottles of wine and some coolers, but how are you doing, friend?
So you never got any beer?
No. You can't sell beer. Like, beer store's closed. But I'm drinking wine tonight, but I haven't even got into it yet. So let's rock.
That's not pretty.
No, it's not.
I've never been a wine guy.
Yeah, I'm not really either. I don't mind a little bit of red with a big porterhouse steak, but I prefer beers. You know, I'm a beer guy. You've seen my gut.
Funny, you know, the thing, I was 21.
Yeah,
and it was a Christmas party at the TV station.
Yeah,
right, but it was like, I don't know, the salespeople, it was mostly ladies and stuff, and whatever, you know. So I go up to this thing. I really had never drank wine at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm drinking it like it's vodka and tea.
Yeah, that's the way I drink it still.
Cam, I don't drink wine.
I get it.
It's like when I was 7, my mother brought a banana cream pie home, and I ate the whole banana cream pie. I don't eat banana cream pie anymore.
Yeah,
either.
that's like me and ketchup chips. I ate like 5 bags of ketchup. Blah, 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 blah. But that's the thing. Like, I still got to slow down on the wine. But you know what the worst thing about wine is? Like, your mouth the next day. Like, it's just like there's nothing. Like, I can drink like 30 Gatorades, or you still got that paste. But anyway, Brian, let's go hit the frozen water instead of the red water.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, pal. Yeah, I'm older a little bit. I'm not going to say wiser, more beat down, but hey, this is what we do. We bet on hockey. So what are we going to do?
I'll tell you who I ain't betting on, Boston.
Pittsburgh, no, I agree with you. I agree.
What is going Pittsburgh and Boston, $1.20 on Boston. Total's 5.5. I thought we'd maybe get some overs, some goals in the first game.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
No. They're a mess.
Here's the thing, Brian. For me, it's Pittsburgh or nothing. I took Pittsburgh in that game. I actually made a smart play, and it wasn't our boy Vlader, Darth Vlader's fault. He actually played well for Boston, as we mentioned before. Team didn't help him out any. You're getting me Pittsburgh is a dog until Boston can prove they can play hockey and get out of the slump. Pasternak's doing nothing. This team doesn't look right. How do you lay 30 cents with Boston? You don't. It's Pittsburgh or nothing. I think the total might get there this time, but I just don't really trust it. So small play. No, these are very small plays. Don't love the game, but I kind of lean Pittsburgh.
I do like. How about this one? I like the over in the Detroit-Tampa game.
So do I.
It's a $4 favorite. Insane. The total's 5.5. But you know what? Games like this, Tampa, they've been fighting with Carolina. Florida's been good. These guys, at this point of the year, the intensity is starting to kick up now, Cam, but not in this game. Detroit's like real close to booking tee times. And Tampa Bay, this is bonus day let's make some money. Let's 5-point days for a bunch of guys. Over.
Yeah, no, I
get the 6 themselves.
Yeah, I see final score 5-2, 6-2. So yeah, I like the over in that spot, and I don't lay 400 with anybody, not even in parlays. So what do we got? Chicago, Nashville, buddy.
Nashville -0.25, totals 5.5. Hey man, I mean, actually think about it, a huge game. These teams are basically tied in the standings for the 4th and final spot in the Central. This is a monster game. Preds 8-2 last 10. Blackhawks 3-7 last 10. You tell me.
I am going to tell you. And I've been good with Nashville, Brian, with the Sorrow stuff. Yeah. You actually did me a solid and got me off that train, and I made Dallas a big play in the last game. I will make Chicago a play at plus 115, 120 in this spot. I know Nashville's been good, but they're not that good. They shouldn't be favored by even, I think that I would have made this line maybe a $1.20, almost a pick'em situation. Chicago, you talk about getting Doc back and a couple other guys. I think Chicago can beat Nashville. I think this game basically is a straight pick'em. And I look at 40 cents, 35, 40 cents with Nashville. I think I'm going to play Chicago as a pooch.
All right. I think the butcher may be in play. I mean, and that's probably even with a nothing final in the Pittsburgh-Boston game. You can't finish nothing. That was just
yep.
Said that.
Yep.
Columbus in Florida, $1.50 in Florida, totals 5.5. Listen, Columbus is back in the picture here, but the rub is they just played March 9th and March 11th, and both of those games, let me just double check. The 9th, it was 4-2 Florida, and then 5-4 Florida. So they've scored 6 in the one game, 9 in the other. 5.5 the total. I mean, do we have to think too hard here?
No, we don't.
I got.
I know what I love about you, Brian. Like you literally, I could tell. Like you're just like, oh God, I just want to have a smoke and just
Well, I'm having one, but that's not the point.
No, it's not the point. Over and
the point is right now at this particular minute, Cam.
Yeah,
you could blind me with a dental floss.
Oh, I'm with you, buddy. I'm sleeping on my feet too, brother. I like the Panthers and the over in this spot. Hey, you know what Columbus does? They play Tampa Bay tight. Other than that, I really don't think they're that decent. So sign me up with the over. I'm with you, pal.
Come on, man. Is Montreal 230 over?
No, they're not. And hey, they beat Ottawa 4-0. They beat Ottawa 4-0 that time. I'm going to tell you one thing. Ottawa's not losing 4-0 this game. Can I bet Ottawa? Maybe. I see a 6.5. I see a 6.5 under. Everyone thinks these games, these Canadian North Division games are going over. Like, look at tonight, for example. I don't know what's going to happen. By the time that we're taping this show, Toronto and Winnipeg are tied at 1. I'm under 6.5 in this game. It's 1-1 with 5 minutes and change left in the second period. Everyone thinks these games are high scoring all the time. I beg to differ. So I'm going to say this, under.
The Islanders are $1.75 against the Flyers. The total is 5.5. All right, Cameron, here's what we got from Philadelphia from a current form perspective. Are you ready for this trash?
Yes, I am.
They lose the 9-0 game to the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, every guy would have been – where's their minor league team? Across the street from the Spectrum? Is it there?
The Philadelphia Phantoms? It's close. Phantoms? Yep. Right. Very close. All
right, so they give them an Uber ride back to the minors. So they win the game after the 9-0 Morbid loss. After that, they lose 6-1 to the Islanders. They lose 2-1 to the Islanders, over then under. They lose 4-3 to the Devils. They beat the Rangers 2-1. They beat the Sabres in the first of the two games, a game they should have lost.
Lucky.
Then lost to the Sabres 6-1. Mm-hmm. They've had extra days to prepare for this. The bus is running here, bud. It's the puck line on the Islanders, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Islanders, and I'll put it in parlays too. It's not even over $2, so I think it's a good spot. Islanders beat down Washington. Hey, if Philadelphia shows up and win this game, good for them. But the way that they're playing, it looks like they want to get Vigneault fired. I can't bet Philadelphia till they show me something. They're a bad hockey team. Give me the Islanders.
All right, let me double check. I
can tell you. Know what?
Here's
I'm going to bet Buffalo.
Horrible
line.
Horrible line.
Gross.
All right.
Sickening.
Now, I give them credit that Omar came back and they get the win over the Flyers. And now they figure they want to win a few games in a row. But you know what? The guy has been off for a long time. They didn't throw him to the wolves. And the Tokarski kid actually just played the last game.
I like Tokarski. He tries.
He played his
He's a hard worker.
Let me tell you something, pal. The Rangers minus 250.
Buffalo might win this game.
That's what I'm getting at. And full disclosure, I did not give them out in one game in that 18-game streak.
It's true.
And the game I finally gave them out, they missed the empty netter and lost 4-3.
Yep.
But how are they $2 on home ice?
I'm taking
with Allmark back.
Know what I'll do too? I'll take Buffalo a sprinkle on the money line plus 1.5. They lost the last game in heartbreaking fashion to the Rangers. They tied it up, but I still think they were a better team for a lot of that game. Buffalo's playing better. Give me Buffalo in that spot, and I agree. I'll take the plus 1.5, and I think they can win the game, Brian.
Dallas, Carolina, not trusting anything Dallas is bringing to the table. Carolina's here's one I would say. Let the butcher go on the hammock here. Is this lower scoring?
It is. Dallas is one of those teams. Even the last game, 4-1, they can't get overs. They don't score a lot. They don't give up a lot. They're Dallas, right? They play a lot of 2-1, 3-1, 4-1 games, 5 in the hook. I lean Carolina in the under in this game, but I don't love it. Next.
Well,
what do you think? It's a hard game.
They made no. I'm not arguing with you. I don't like the game at all.
Okay.
St. Louis and Colorado, are they really going to hang a 5.5 again?
Listen, this game has slowed down. It started off nice, and I don't want to jinx anything because we're both on the over 5.5 now, and I'm getting a little bit concerned. I'd like to see some more goals. It's 1-1 now. Whatever it is.
Got to go over. I don't care.
Yes, if it's 5.5, you blindly play the over. If Colorado loses, I'm actually on St. Louis, Brian, as my underdog special, especially and on plus 1.5 in the Friday night game. I think if St. Louis beats Colorado, they'll come back, and I'll take Colorado in the over parlayed and the over. If it's 5.5, I think you have to play the over in this spot. It's just, come on, you have to.
Well, let me throw this at you. Hold on. The starting goalie is tonight it's Johansson.
Yeah, tonight's Johansson. That's why I played St. Louis in the over.
How in God's name they make that total 5.5?
I don't know, buddy.
I liked it over 5.5 if it was Grubauer.
I agree 100%.
All right. Well, we'll see how that shakes out. So you're probably then going to get Grubauer. But how do you play Colorado under at this moment? I mean, they're just like
you can't.
People.
They score 9 goals. They score 4 or 5. You hang a 5.5. St. Louis is going to get a few. I'm with you. It's over.
All right, fair enough. And then Minnesota and Vegas. Here's the deal.
That game should have gone over the number. Cam Talbot played. He made 5 highlight reel saves in that game. It was absolutely stupid. Minnesota won in a shootout. That game should have been like 8-4 Vegas.
Great game. Both teams played back-to-back nights. Minnesota had to travel. Vegas played with 2 less forwards, right? They had 10 forwards, Cam. They played 3 lines and rotated Kolasar in. And if they do an NHL awards thing this year, the one save that Talbot made on Kolasar will be one of the finalists for.
I would say both saves on the same damn shift with Kolasar. Yeah. But anyway, for all the people who didn't watch it, Cam Talbot saved Minnesota's ass that game, and a 5.5. I don't care who's in that Fleury, anybody, Leonard, Cam. What?
Minnesota owns these guys.
Yeah. No, I said over, and I'd look at Minnesota again. Over. Trust me.
I thought you were coming back.
I've been working 90 hours this week.
I thought you were coming back with Vegas.
No, I'm not coming back with Vegas. I think Vegas will probably win, but
telling this is, Cam, Vegas, I believe, they just lost 2 in a row. So I think there's 14-3-2. They just lost back-to-back games, basically at home. I mean, they're a monster at home, and the line is only $1.50. The odds makers actually got this one right. Minnesota is a nightmare for these guys.
I agree. But I will say this, Brian, you watched the game. If not for Cam Talbot, Vegas wins that game. I know Minnesota.
Leonard made a lot of good saves.
He did. But Talbot's saves were bigger. I don't care.
I agree.
Here's the thing: Vegas is that price. They're coming off a loss. I don't like to step in front of it. I'm not saying You know what? Sure, I wish it was a lower juice, and I'm not going to take them on the puck line. I like the over, and I like Vegas. That's the way I look at it.
That's fine. You know what? Fleury, who really kind of had like a Vezina-like season. Now Leonard's back.
I know
he's not been great. I mean, the last few games, he's had some bad moments.
True. In that Vancouver-Edmonton game, if you guys are looking for it, COVID, Vancouver's not playing till April 6th, so we'll scratch that one from the card.
No, that's thankfully, because we're watching Battle of Alberta. Come on, what's with these guys? Can we get to the Battle of Alberta? Will you stop with the all skate? Where's the hate?
There's none, Brian. I
want hate.
You came to the wrong place. Me and you have more angst right now with our lives than Edmonton and and Calgary do right now. It's come on, guys.
The mood I'm in right now.
Oh, I know.
I want Tkachuk to be Kotkaniemi's cousin, and I want him to butt in McDavid. Let's go. Game on.
I'm with you, pal. I'm with you.
San Jose and the Kings. See, here's
I told you I bet the Kings. I bet the Kings on Friday. I don't know what's going to happen.
I did
we'll
too.
See what happens. I love the Kings.
Too.
The Kings are one of my favorite plays on Friday.
I went puck line on them.
I love you, Brian. Hey,
a little flyer on the puck line on Friday.
We're reading each other's mail. So what do we got next?
It's hard to talk about that one, not knowing the first one. I mean, right?
I agree.
We're going to run into these, and then you get the
this is what we do. So Sunday, Detroit, Tampa Bay. So we have the same matchups.
I would go Tampa Bay over. You know what? I would go over in both of those games. I think Tampa Bay, it's like stat night in Florida.
Yeah. And I'm just waiting to see here. Oh, boy. I really wish this other game would end because I got to believe, I'm on the Devils tonight, too, and they're in overtime against Washington.
Oh, do we want to do this live on the podcast?
Do we?
Who do you want?
I want the Devils.
No, do you need them to win, or did you
in a parlay? On a parlay, I have plus 1.5, but I played them on the money line too. I told you I have a strategy, right? So now it's in overtime. So I don't want to deal with a shootout, right?
Yeah, you had a strategy to get beer. How'd that work out?
I got wine. You're right. So I'm a loser. What do we got here? I don't even know what we're talking about. What are we talking about?
My strategy.
Sunday. Washington, New Jersey, right?
I was working on my strategy in the dream I was having about 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, I get it.
Just once, I want to give you good news in overtime.
It's okay, pal. Don't worry about it. Whatever happens is going to happen.
All right, so Washington, New Jersey, they're playing right now. Columbus
in Florida.
First one goes over, come back with the under.
I agree with that. Actually, I do agree with that. Dallas and Carolina. Do you ever take an over? I don't know what you could do with that game. I will say this, though. Toronto and Calgary, that's a start of a new series. What do we do with this one? So Toronto's playing Winnipeg. Mm-hmm. They go into Calgary. I got to tell you something. Calgary's got to basically go on a heater. They're done, right? This North Division, I hate to say it, the Leafs are kind of coming back down to earth. I wouldn't just blindly bet these guys. Calgary plays them pretty tight, too. A lot of games go to overtime. We'll see. What do you think?
I'm afraid to say anything.
Say whatever you like.
All right, the Caps just won in overtime.
Oh, did they? Oh, yeah, they did. 2-1. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. It's okay.
I didn't want to be that guy.
Oh, man. Now do you understand?
I do.
Why do you understand why you do plus 1.5? See, now I spread my losses. Peter pays Paul, and I got a nice little parlay going with the Kings money line with plus 1.5. That's why you take plus 1.5. Example set. Losing games in overtime in a shootout, I don't feel as bad. I'm taking it well. Arizona, Anaheim. Arizona better figure things out. St. Louis is they need to go on a heater. SJ Sharkey's playing better. I think the Kings can get in there. These are big games. If Arizona wants to put on their big boy pants, they find a way to beat Anaheim.
Ready for Monday?
No, I'm not, but let's take a look.
Here we go. Edmonton, Montreal. Edmonton's got a busy little busy bees here over in that game.
Edmonton, Montreal. That is a tough game. Okay, so damn it.
I know.
I don't know what to do here.
Well, it depends what we're seeing on the weekend. But, I mean, here's Edmonton playing the Battle of Alberta. Then Saturday, you know what? They're playing Saturday back at – oh, no, they're not. That game's canceled. So Edmonton catches a little break here. It's not going to be the 3 and 4 nights because their Saturday night game got torched.
That's right.
So that's good for Edmonton.
I'm going to say this. Edmonton's winning this game. It's a revenge spot. Montreal beat them 4-0 after the COVID. Give me Edmonton. That is my lean on Monday night. Ottawa and Winnipeg. I'll tell you one thing. Ottawa, they'll try and all, but Winnipeg especially, we'll see how things go against the Leafs. But this is a team that can turn it on. They're going to be heavily favored in that game. Know what I would look for in that game, actually, Brian? Under. If they hang up a 6.5, I told you, Hellebuck's playing well. The Senators, they're not scoring a lot of goals now. That's something that I would look at. I'll ask your opinion for Vegas and St. Louis.
Over. Listen,
every time they get together.
I don't know what it is about these guys. The majority of the games they play are 5-4 in overtime. They're insane games.
They are. And here's another thing.
It's the first of two, so definitely over. And here's the thing. It should be Leonard's turn, but there's something to watch. I'll throw this out. I hope it's nothing. But Leonard was out for a long time. He himself, all the upper body stuff, he himself, when he returned, he said, I had a concussion. He got run last night by what's the guy's name? Eric Sinek?
Yeah, Eric Sinek, yeah.
He got drilled late in the game, lost his helmet, almost hit his head on the ice. Trainer looked at him for, whatever, and he finished. But, I mean, he just come back from a concussion, so I'm hoping Leonard's okay. But it technically should be his turn in the rotation.
Yeah, we'll see. St. Louis and Vegas, every time they get together, you said it, Brian, St. Louis isn't playing great, but this will turn out to be a 5-4, some crazy game in overtime. Or
what? David Perron always gets a goal and an assist.
Yes, he does.
He goes nuts against Vegas.
Excellent point. So if you're playing props, guys, look for Perron. He always shows up against Vegas.
And you know what? By the way, because he had the busted wrist, Petrangelo's back in the lineup. It'll be Petrangelo against St. Louis.
His old team, yeah. So things are going to get – know what that game equals? Penalties, special teams, and overs. I think there's a lot of factors that play to the over. Colorado, Minnesota. This is interesting because Minnesota was on a heater when they beat Arizona. They went into Colorado, and Colorado fed them their lunch through a tube. They basically said, you know what, Minnesota, we're the best. You're not. So what does Minnesota do? Do they step up? Or what?
That was great.
It's true, though. I don't even know what I'm saying right now, but I could tell you one thing. Colorado, the first game against Minnesota. See, Mike, you're getting bonus coverage right now. You should say, thank you very much, Brian and Cameron. But Colorado had 24 damn shots in the first period of that game. They literally took Minnesota and put them in a pretzel and laughed at them. So what's Minnesota going to do at home? Are they going to show up, or are they going to let big bad Colorado beat them up in the schoolyard?
I'm still laughing. Can I steal that?
Well, I fed their lunch through a tube? Yeah, you like that?
Well, no, my line is eating Jell-O through a straw.
Yeah, I don't know what I said, but
you fed them their lunch through a tube.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
That's the same thing.
I'm going to say this. This game is, if they hang a 5.5 up on this game, I'll go over in this game too. Minnesota needs to do something. It's not going to be easy coming back from Vegas, but this is a revenge spot for the Wild. You can't let Colorado abuse you like that. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? You saw some neighbor sleeping with your girlfriend. You're just going to sit there and let it happen. You got to defend your castle, Minnesota. Next game.
All right, let me ask you this. Calgary,
yes,
ballpark, by the time they get there, heading into the weekend, as we're taping this, they're up 1-0 on Edmonton, but there's 6 points behind Montreal. But the problem is Montreal has 4 in hand on them. So does Calgary become a seller here? Or is this the circle the wagons last ditch effort?
This is the last weekend, and we'll decide if they are sellers. If they lose both games to Toronto, I can tell you they're a guaranteed seller. And there's and I'll tell you
they're probably toast now.
I agree. And you hear what Sutter said? Everybody's for sale on this team. He called out the stars on this team. He doesn't care. If they give a good enough package, don't be surprised if the Calgary Flames are the team that actually big names go, because I'll tell you, Sutter walked in there and basically ripped everyone on that team. Somebody big's going down.
I'll tell you one thing. I love the kid. And I'm telling you, if everybody really is for sale, Ottawa, find a way to make it happen. Could you imagine the Tkachuk brothers together? That would be good for the league.
Yeah, well, it's good for and bad for opponents, because these guys are like the G.I. Joe twins.
But Ottawa's got all these prospects.
Yes, I know. And when one twin feels pain, the other one comes back too. You ever watch G.I. Joe as a kid, man? I'll tell you something, man. That's what you do. You touch one Tkachuk, the other one will kill you. That's the thing. They feel each other's pain. It's great for Ottawa. You said it. The Tkachuk brothers and the future. Oh boy!
Could you imagine those two lug wrenches? And I say that as a compliment.
It is a compliment.
I mean, could you imagine those two terrorizing and sticking up for each other? But the fact is, if not just one of them, if they're both doing it, talk about dragging the team along with you. Get on my shoulder.
Exactly.
I would give up the moon to get him.
That's true. So we'll see what happens in this Leaf series. I already think a lot of these guys have 1 foot out the door, but if they don't take 3 of a possible 4 points from Toronto, things are like they basically have to win both games. And the final game is SJ Sharkey and the Kings. We like the Kings on the Friday night game. We'll see what happens. Are the Sharks for real, Brian? I know they've been playing better hockey. Kane's been better, but the one thing is Martin Jones has been better. The minute their goaltending lets them down again, they're in big trouble, right?
Well, they're honestly,
and I hate to say it, their veteran Carlson's been playing better too. Watching him recently,
I love what McClellan's doing with the Kings, right? I mean,
me too.
But here's the rub. As of this minute, they're tied in the standings. If they're both saying they believe they're breathing because St. Louis is phony, then would you go with the team that lost the Friday night game?
Yes. I still think this, though. I'll make one prediction. I think the Kings, out of those teams left, are the team that's going to get in. I know that sounds crazy. They've owned St. Louis, too. They've played St. Louis tough.
But Peterson's playing at a
yes, he is.
high level.
I agree with you. So I actually might ride the Kings. I know a lot of people are jumping on SJ Sharkey. I think they got on one stop too late. I like the Kings on Friday, and, we'll see what happens. I might take them again, Brian.
So as we wrap this up, is there any chance you're eating your birthday cake through a tube?
Yes, there's a very good chance.
Washing it down with wine?
Yes. I'm just so pissed off. Know what I love? The only thing I love about beer is it's just easy. You know what I mean? And you've seen me drink beers, Brian. I can drink like 20 at the blackjack table. It's nice. The problem with wine is I can't get that vibe, and it gives me heartburn. Like, I don't want to be popping Maalox and Pepsi AC all night. You know what I mean?
But I wouldn't want to see you the next day either.
Yeah, no, exactly. You don't want to see me the next day, period, especially off 4 bottles of wine. Me.
Well, the next day you just go to the rack and let's see, I've got 11 Winnipeg Jets jerseys. I'll just pull number 24 on. How many Winnipeg Jets jerseys you got?
One. Actually, I have one. Today was Jersey Friday on the show, Brian. I wore my Philadelphia Phillies jersey. I was so fat, like I busted a button. I'm like John Kruk. I got one jersey and one testicle.
we gotta get you a Kraken jersey.
Gabe's like, wow, you're fitting that jersey pretty good. I'm like, it's like Brock Lesnar. I'm like, I was like breaking the thing in half. I'm like, God, I put on a lot of weight. Anyway.
The new innovative expandable hockey jersey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like tearaway. It's like Velcro. Yeah, let's do it.
They got the pants now. The blue jeans.
Yeah,
the blue jeans with the little. Give you that little extra,
Yeah.
Oh, hey, thanks.
Happy.
I'm not singing to you, but happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. I love you, man. Thanks for everything.
Are you admitting the damage? This will make me sick to my stomach.
Admit what damage?
Age.
47.
You're a baby.
Yeah, I am a baby.
You're in the prime. Hey, you know what you are? You're in the prime of middle life.
I think I'm 46, actually. What's this? Yeah, 46. Wow. God, I feel old. Man, I'm in bad shape for 46. Now I'm depressed.
Yeah, go have some wine. Goodbye.
Later, pal.
Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. Hey, we hope you like what you're hearing. And if you do, hit the subscribe button and give us a review, give us a rating. Most importantly, enjoy the hockey and keep coming back to the Hockey Betting Podcast.
The handicapping and sports odds information contained on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm the wagering regulations in your jurisdiction as they vary from state to state, province to province, and country to country. Using this information to contravene any law or statute is prohibited. The podcast is not associated with, nor is it endorsed by any professional or collegiate league, association, or team. This podcast does not target and is not intended for an audience under the age of 18. If you think that you have a gambling addiction, stop this podcast now and please seek help.
Gambling and betting on sports is a form of entertainment and should be about having a good time. But when done excessively, it may negatively affect other areas of a person's life, such as their physical and mental health, school or work performance, finances, and or interpersonal relationships. At the Hockey Betting Podcast, we're concerned about the addiction that gambling may cause, and for this reason, we encourage everyone to practice responsible gambling, an approach to gambling that helps you ensure that it remains an enjoyable activity. Here are the main principles of responsible gambling. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Always gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Set limits and stick to them. Never chase losses. Don't gamble when you're depressed or upset, and create a healthy balance. Always be aware of how much time you spend gambling or thinking about gambling. And do not allow gambling to cause you to miss out on time with family and friends or time spent on other activities you enjoy. By following these guidelines, gambling can be a good time and great entertainment. If you feel at any time that your gambling is taking away from important areas of your life, is causing you stress or depression, or is leading to financial losses that are beyond your control, please reach out for help. Learn more at responsiblegambling.org.